Yes, indeed, of course. A pleasant good night to all and sundry, East, West, South, South, Central, in Trinidad, our friends in Tobago, and wherever you are streaming on the World Wide Web. A pleasant good day to you. My profuse apology, and of course, I am also apologizing on behalf of my co-host, COP, for the what I consider to be extraordinary delay. Not that we are not familiar with it, but I thought tonight was one of a technical nature that we have been able between us to solve. Compared, of course, to last night when we were unable to solve it. So, for that, I commend him for his tenacity and his team across there, and of course, my team across here for making certain that we have a program tonight. So, only one night we missed, but we are getting there. We are going to strive for perfection, but in human circumstance, and of course, in nature as well. Nothing is really perfect, but you strive for perfection nonetheless. And I want to say as well that Murphy's Law will always be with us. And that is to say, when you expect something not to go wrong, it will at the worst possible time. That being as it may, of course, let's take it a little bit of singing Sandra's dignity of women, because I think the other half of humanity have been neglected for too long. And I'm saying so in the context of what transpired on Wright and Nelson Street here last Saturday, where women took charge and organized and produced a family day that was of exceptional quality, perfection, and indeed one to emulate, one that will make any community envy that could happen in a grassroots environment. I will be, of course, talking with my host with respect, of course, to that, and you can make your calls as well, and you can do it now because I know we have, of course, consumed some of your time. So let's get a little piece, and then, of course, we'll introduce my co-host. Yes, indeed, of course, I die with my dignity or her dignity. Pleasant good night, COP.
Good night to you, Lennox Smith. And good night to all the listeners and viewers of the Corridor Transformation. Good night, good night, good night. Good night to all of you on the chat. Yes, we apologize for what happened last night, but good things come for those who wait and have patience. Look, we get it right tonight. Yes, and whilst we go along, it have more success to come.
That's right.
It have more development to come. And we will get it right. We will get it right.
Yes, my friend. Yes, my friend. And I want to thank you and your team across there for the excellent job that they would have done and the tenacious nature of doing so, because it's a commitment, it's really a labor of love, not so? A labor of love, care, and consideration.
IT specialist is really an IT specialist.
Nothing you can do about that. No, we are not talking about the tooth that is called an I-tooth, we are talking about an IT, meaning information technology, because some people might believe it's an I-tooth that you have to get rid of at a particular point in time, and it grows at a particular point in time in the human being's life. All right, so that being as it may, let's get down to the crux of the matter. As I said, the lines are open. Of course, we seem to be in a better position. The camera is a better fit. The viewership, I suspect, will be better. And somebody asked me last night that they want a room in that building that we are in there, a COP. So I didn't want to go any further to make them more wise, except to say...
Well, you can tell them $2,500 a month, nothing wrong with that.
I hear you, my friend. All right, so... I'm sure that you would have taken a look at the program last night. I went solo, obviously, because we didn't want to disappoint. And of course, quite a number of callers would have called in on the amazement that in grassroots community, we have people who have the natural ability. They may not have the academic, and they may not have gone to formal schooling. But by observation, and I've always said that experience is the best teacher, and doing things over and over, you become, of course, an expert in your own right. And it's these people that I have always advocated that the authorities should be seeking out, should be looking at in order to really solve some of the social problems and by extension the economic problem, but certainly the social problem such as crime, criminality, borderline issue, of course, and a gravitation of young people to gangs. And as I'm saying so against a specific background, that next month over 13,000, I'm being conservative here, over 13,000 young people will come out of school, terminating their secondary school life, looking for jobs, or just about 5%, if not less, would be either repeating or going on to university. So you have a quite a large portion who will be looking for jobs, looking for their own place in the sun, and that compounds the situation when one looks at the fact that last year a similar amount came out, and the year before that, and therefore any modicum of common sense with respect to addressing the problems of young people, violence, gravitating to crime, gang, etc. Any policymaker will realize by common sense that the problem could only be compounded if appropriate measures are not taken. I see. Right, good. I'm not seeing. So I just want to lay that as the foundation as we discuss this matter tonight, and to get you abreast as to what transpired last night in Synopsis, and to make your input having regard to where you are and your own experience. Go ahead, my friend.
Lennox, I see everything that you show on that screen and what takes place in the vulnerable areas and them in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And that looks so good to know that women will come out and stand up for unity and strength and create environment, sporting and create environment for young people them in the community. And the only way that will, in my view, the only way that will grow, and some kind of solution will take place to bring those community out of the vulnerability that they're in, is if they get leaders support and government support. And government must support these organizations and these NGOs and those citizens of Trinidad and Tobago that in these vulnerable communities that you can see they're trying, and they're trying very hard. And if they're trying on their own and they're trying very hard and they're not succeeding, I believe that the leaders and those in authority have a constitutional responsibility to put the foot forward, come forward and assist them. That is with what they will get the 100%. Because right now they're 50 and 45. And if government leaders and those in authority come forward, meet them 50-50, I believe these things will grow and these things will establish, and this community will come out of the vulnerability that they're in.
Eventually.
Yes, sir.
Yes, man.
And we need to ask. We don't have to be bashful. We don't have to be shameful. We don't have to say we're bashing with government, because we're not bashing with government. We have to be real. We have to be human being and stand up for the vulnerable.
Well, let's go to the line, because we did say that we're opening the lines early. Let's hope that nothing goes wrong tonight with respect to the line. President, good night. Welcome to the corridor.
Hello.
Yes, President, good night. Welcome.
Yeah, I believe the discussion tonight is on the African diaspora in Trinidad and how do we go forward.
Yeah, all that is part and parcel, could be roped into it, because really and truly be dealing with a mainly African community that is creating the disquiet of the society, as we see, whether it be violent crime or whether it be gang warfare, whether it be drive-by killing, whether it be home invasion and so on. So therefore, if you want to expand it, no problem. We will be very appreciative. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to expand it because I believe we have a very bad problem in Trinidad. Mm-hmm. When I look at my experience from this is that we have a lot of work to do. And what is happening, the technology in Trinidad is being misused, and it's being misused a lot. Because listen to as to what is going on. Right now, I am the chair of of an organization.
Right.
But when we try to get things put together and we bring it for now, not only am I the chair of a particular organization, but I'm also the member of one or two other organizations.
Yeah, but why you not want to
And
call you
sometimes
don't want to call the
when
name
you
of the
look at it,
organization?
the executive on, let's say, one of the organization is trying to put forward a case to its members, right? What we getting, in fact, is a kickback of the technology being misused in terms of the using of the chat.
Uh-huh.
Because a lot of people using the chat to mislead and do things
Oh, I see
that
where you're coming from. I see where you're coming
you
from.
see you see where I'm
Yeah,
coming from.
yeah, we had a discussion on that. Well, very briefly, not in depth,
Uh-huh.
on the ground report this morning, when, of course, people were using the chats to be obnoxious and to be sycophantic, without, of course, concern for the national
Community.
importance of moving forward and positively. And I think there is where you are going, and therefore that is a sad reflection and a retrogressive mood or move by such persons, and they should desist. But go ahead.
Yeah, but let me just explain it a little, take it a little further.
Go ahead.
Now, I have no qualms or no thing about technological advances,
Yeah.
right? I don't have any qualms about that. But what my qualm is when you take the chat and let's say you have a group of people, right? Now, one group using the chat, and now if you see sometimes you put your finger, okay, like you open your phone and you go to a certain chat.
Uh-huh.
And when you go to the chat, you can actually take your finger and scroll down and see. But when you stop, you can see one set of people making mischief about who partying and where the next party is, and they're not concentrating on their own business. You follow? And the business is taking the African diaspora forward. How do you carry them? Now they are bombarding the chat with all kinds of nonsense, but they're not discussing the African business. Because when you look at it, the Minister of Trade announced last week, right, that they are opening up um, the trade system for businesses to export, right? And if we are not prepared to teach our African people how to do business and what to do, right? Then we have a big problem if the chats and the technological system is taking over and twisting the thing and not putting forward our business. We should be taking advantage of what the Minister of Trade is doing, right? With opening up Trinidad and Tobago, trying to export. That is where I think we should go. And most people are not going there.
Well, that is a sad indictment if of you're saying that your observation is that most people are not going there, because we need at this stage of Trinidad and Tobago's development every positive hand on deck. And while we may have these stragglers, and while we may have those who may be totally delinquent and maybe obnoxious, certainly to be in the majority, I think Trinidad and Tobago will be taking 2 steps forward and 4 steps backward, and we need to bring that to the fore. And I want to thank you for that observation. And even if it is not so, even if it does not manifest or reflect in statistical data, the fact of the matter is that since that is a concern of any citizen at all, then we need to pinch ourselves. We need to pinch ourselves. The
Yes.
policymakers, the decision makers, and all of them who are responsible for guiding the society and guiding Trinidad and Tobago, not just out of the morass that it has found itself, but into a brighter future. Your views on that?
So I would not go down the road so much of blaming government, this present government, but because this government, this present government inherited I don't want to use
A
the
morass.
term.
That's why I used the word
Yes,
morass. So,
yes,
and I was suggesting they inherited it because, of course,
yes.
in a year's time they couldn't do the damage that they inherited. All right.
Because you see, the culture of our people is that we not paying attention. We just, if okay, I could even go a little further,
Yeah.
right? Okay, let's just look at the international scene. The international scene is right now China is ahead of the world's business. They are ahead.
Okay.
What is the reason for that? Even though they have technology, but they did not so much just um, depend on the use of the technology. They used the technology right, and what they did was to inculcate a sense of culture in doing business in the people, in their people. And I've always said it in the emancipation meetings that I attend and most of the other meetings that I have attended. China is ahead of us, is ahead of the world right in doing, they're doing it right. And we should begin to follow that model, what they are doing, changing our attitudes to suit the modern world,
Yes, man.
right?
Yes, yes. Go
So,
ahead.
so okay, let's just take it from here. The Minister of Trade, as I've just said, I mentioned him just now. He recently wrote a book. Um, the book is called I don't have it with me right now, but you know, if you read the text, right, you could see that he built a business, or from scratch, and then took it forward, and it's hard work. And we have to begin to realize that we must put our shoulders to the wheel, and this is what he did. Even when he wrote the book, he's telling you that his
Right.
shoulders was to the wheel. His mom had a business right here in San Fernando, right? When he was attending school, and evenings he would come to sweep all the shop, do menial work and that kind of thing, and then graduated to mixing chemicals to make lipstick and all them kind of things, right?
Right.
And he even talked about when you have a business, packaging is important, right? The way you package your product and how to sell it, he's teaching you, right? So he couldn't be Minister of Trade today if he wasn't doing it, getting the thing from scratch and going through the works.
Right. Yes,
You
indeed.
understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah. No, we get it just because the dint of hard work, tenacity, stick-to-itiveness, they call it, as well as perseverance. All of those qualities will certainly get people there. Oh, with a plan, of course. And what you have
Yes.
described is that he had a plan. Thank you very much.
No,
Sorry.
no.
Oh, you
Before
want
I
to
go,
continue? Go
let
ahead.
me give you one scenario of a certain thing that happened to me,
Go ahead.
right? Now, I have a small business, right?
Right.
But throughout the years, I've worked hard and, coming up the line. And I, 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 I was vexed with one individual. What that one individual said to me, right, tells me that we have a lot of work to do,
All right.
right? Now, I was building my small business gradually, working hard, experimenting in what I wanted to do, taking nights to come up with products and whatnot, right? Now, when I did that, community development, I worked with community development, and they hired me to teach.
Yeah.
But over the years, I was teaching too. But one individual made a remark to me that community development was responsible for where I was. And I say, well, no, I was vexed with the individual for making that remark.
All right.
You know, so being vexed, we had an argument, right? And it didn't end too well.
I hear you. I hear
Right?
you. I hear you. I
It
hear you.
didn't end too well. So what I'm saying is, right, it teaches me or told me that we have a lot of work to do in terms of our thinking, how we thinking.
Yeah.
You
And
understand? So
I just before you go, because we can't help but looking at our leaders and their vision and their commitment and their true patriotism, if you want to call it that. But while you were talking there, I remember two things that was stated by the former Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, on Emancipation Day. He said in
uh-huh,
uncertain terms that, listen, the African community is at the lowest rung of the socio-economic ladder, and he is disappointed. He is disappointed. Before you respond, because I know the answer is obvious. And another occasion in Laventille, right here, at the Success Laventille School, he then praised a particular African family having used an example of an American African family that was getting a lot of contracts in the area of aeroplanes and the preparation of airports and all of that. But he then went on to defend that someone that we knew as a consequence or really became a big businessman, if you want to call that, because of he being in the office that he would have held. Talking about his friend in Tobago, the man with the townhouses that was given to
uh-huh.
him and his daughter as well. And I want you to comment on that. What do you think that is superficial? Do you think that is not sufficient, especially in circumstances where you claim that you have an African political organization that dominated the politics and the direction of the country for decades, and yet still in 21st century Trinidad and Tobago, I'm talking about 3 or 4 years ago, he made that statement. What is your view?
Okay, hear my view. I just told you about a particular story,
Yeah.
right? Where one of my friends, or one of a person who I had considered my friend, gave to me what he thought that I was doing was, that is a similar thing to Dr. Rowley. It just shows how the individual is thinking and how far his growth would reach
I see.
or would have reached.
So that was just
Yes.
superficial old talk, but really and
Yes.
truly, when coming to practice, when coming to action, we saw
Yeah,
that
that's
they,
it.
they are woefully short, and therefore they couldn't be sincere or truthful. All right, thank you.
At all.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Okay.
Thank you very
All
much.
right.
Thank you very much. COP, we got a mouthful to chew on there. What's your view? What's your take?
I feel the African diaspora create their own problems. I feel the African communities create their own problems by supporting the People's National Movement for 65 years. I think the grandmothers and the grandfathers of the PNM, they create their own problem, and the youths of the Africans now feeling the pressure of what their ancestors them created.
Wow.
And I think many of them still putting the future of the African community in more
Well, let's
depression and
pause.
anxiety.
We'll take up where you left off. But let's go to the line. We always give way to the callers. Pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor. Sorry about last night. Go ahead.
A pleasant good night to each and every one, east, west, north, and south, and all in sundry. Share the live, share the live. Tell them that COP is live, and the camera can pick him up now. The camera friendly. And Uncle Lennox is asking him a question, and I disturb him. But here what's going on. Uncle Lennox, I will
Yeah.
hold the line. I want to hear what COP had to finish say.
All right. No problem.
Because, so ask him back what he had to say about that and continue that where he said that is the people who ancestors who vote for PNM continue after 65 years continue.
All right.
Listen.
COP, this caller is very generous. Like he had plenty money, so he could wait on the line. So complete
He's
what
not-
you were saying with
he's
respect
not generous.
to the
He's not
problems
generous.
created by themselves. Go ahead.
He is not generous. He controversial. He just like me, controversial.
Oh
But
yeah.
I will allow him. I will allow him because he dedicated towards the corridor transformation. He's supportive of Lennox Smith himself, and so I will answer him. Is the ancestors of the African people them that create that depression and anxiety and lack of opportunities that they're not getting for the past 65 years? Blame the People's National Movement. And I listen to the guy over there. He sound like he have a lot of ambitions. He look like he have a lot of ambition to take his business forward. But you need to speak to the African leaders and them. You need to tell them they mislead you all. And when you look at the African diaspora is really foreign Africans, Lennox better.
Yeah.
It's really foreign Africans, it have a program. It have a program in view called the African diaspora, and them shame now. Them shame now to have the African diaspora in it. They put the village, and that is a program was created to speak on behalf of African people. Now them not speaking on behalf of African people.
Wow. Wow.
They're not
Wow.
speaking
Wow.
on behalf of African people. And but I give this caller, not this one who on the line, the last caller 10 out of 10 for really speaking out. And more people like you need to really speak out. But not just ask, you need to ask for assistance from this administration. But you need to tell the past administration that governed for 65 years, you all did it for 65 years wrong. You all put us under pressure. You all have our children, 65% in school, under depression, anxiety, and low self-esteem. The African diaspora have a part to do with that. Because they leave from foreign country and come Trinidad and spend $5,000 to become a PNM member until they're dead. But they never spend 5,000 to leave from foreign to come over here to tell the black man and the black woman, hey, turn away from this People's National Movement. They create nothing for you. You see what we seen in the East-West corridor and Port of Spain over here today? The people that want to stand up for peace, the PNM create that. The African diaspora had a part to do with that. They spent thousands of dollars to come Trinidad to make Keith Rowley Prime Minister for 10 years. For 10 years, do nothing for the African diaspora, for the Africans in Trinidad and Tobago, and they're playing social now. Well, partner, I admire your ambition, but you need to speak to the African leaders.
Well said. I just by way of pause and information, the video behind us is the basis of tonight's discussion, and of course, it is about organization, it is about the vision, it is about creativity, and of course, the fact that all of those qualities really resides in the communities of East Port of Spain, Laventille, Beetham, Sealats, and the general African community along the East-West corridor, which this program is dedicated to. But we go farther afield because COP is a central man, and of course, both of us are Trinbagonians, so we understand
And
our role and
also
responsibility
human being.
beyond the corridor.
Although we is Trinbagonian, we are human beings, and we need to speak on behalf of human beings that need our support.
That's right, all over the country and beyond. And well, the video, of course, is excerpts of videos of the wonderfully organized Family Day between Nelson Street, very important, Nelson Street and George Streets, and it was a family day. And I wanted to pay kudos or commendations to the female organizers on this occasion. I think they were tremendous in terms of how they organized, and we need to give them the kind of credit that is deserving. Mind you, many of them in these communities are single parents. Single parents. The male, of course, have abandoned for one reason or another, or abandon here could. I don't want to say abandon in a kind of decisive or conscious way, but also they could have died because of unfortunate circumstance. And I know of one, they came here tonight and said that their daughter's birthday is this month, the same month like me, and But that person I know personally, who, of course, the father of the child is in the prison right now, um, managing or or going under a murder charge. You see how hesitant I am to describe it. He is in jail for a murder charge, and the child is out here, and the mother is out here. Tonight they came before the start of the program. So you understand what I'm talking. And that's just a microcosm, so that you have to commend, in other words, the woman for taking charge. And I think that is a crystal example of how women can take charge in circumstances and in communities that the general public would have written off. It's Nelson Street and George Street you're talking about. Go ahead, Mr. Faizabad.
With lack of resources
Yeah,
too.
Uncle Lennox and
Yes.
COP.
With no kind of resources.
Not to bash the first caller there, but I just want to jog his memory a little bit and let him know that there was a co-host with you, right? May God rest his soul. And that gentleman was fighting tooth and nail, right, to obtain a business, right, as
Yes.
a black man. And if that caller understand your program, that on George Street, where you obtain that building and the services and the call you had made for anyone in the area, or any other person willing to open a little dry goods store or some little business to serve the community in the area, right? They're welcome. The space are available. You can work out a little something, right?
Yes.
That you can pass on the revenue and keep spinning and helping others to uplift them. So that's what the caller, I'm not bashing him, I just let him know that the program and your program, what is it centered about, and that the video behind you tonight will show that is not only today, is over 35 years, half of the TNM life that ruled this country and is in existence. You are fighting, and the day had finally come on Saturday last week, God spare life, that you create history in a place that is neglected by black politician, black prime minister, black organization, and a black people consideration, a black brotherhood, and a black, everything that is black, right? That they declare these white people, white people of high color, for over 70 years. Eh? So, Uncle Lennox, that's for the record. If that, no, I know we can't go back to let the caller know, right? But he missed the boat a little bit. No. Which part in Port of Spain, or up in John, or Lavantil, could you start, right? Something like in agriculture. The only thing you can do is terrace, shelf growing, and rack growing. So pepper for the market, as I will talk about it, that you create a small pocket of growers in the area, so that when they get that product come together and they sell it to the processors, because you bring some, I bring some, it add up to 1,000 pounds. We share the money equal, because we know that you get 2 pounds, 3 pounds, and we pay for it. And we start from there. The expertise, and there you use the Ministry of Agriculture to have the program in your place for upliftment. Because to suit the area, you have to go within grow box, cans, throw off growing on shelf, meaning one on top of the other. And it can be done. So that is the way you have to go to create. But somebody tell me, How you could take somebody and go down in the central market, which you'd want to sell $20? No. When you do them thing and you show them how to get the same experience the caller was talking about and to teach them. So Uncle Lennox, I want to hear what COP had to say about being creative, right? And that program you had on Saturday, I want to hear what you had to say after 55 years of PNM neglect. Kudos to you, Uncle Lennox, and long live your intention and good health and strength. And here we're going on. Friday, please God, a souvenir letter. You have to go by the whole of justice there. I'll call you later or tomorrow, please God, and give you what time to reach by the whole of justice. Right?
I hear you, my friend. I hear you, my friend.
Yeah,
All right.
later.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And I want to emphasize, and I cannot overemphasize, that this is a collective effort by the community itself, for the community, by the community, of the community. And it brought music to my heart. It almost brought tears to my eyes. And yesterday, of course, I confess that I cried in front of the current Prime Minister, talking passionately about these communities and what the potential is. And I'm ashamed to say it. And there are times when good things come out that would bring me to tears, even all now, a hardback, they say, grown man like myself. But these are, that's only a human situation. Let's go to the line. Pleasant good night to welcome to the corridor.
Good night, Lennox, and good night to your co-host,
Yes, COP. Yes, Mr.
COP.
COP.
Good,
Good
good.
night to you,
Welcome,
brother.
COP. This is Diego Martin inside. I want to add my 2x4 to this issue, and I want to go back to a discussion we had about 3 months ago: reparation and the slave trade. Remember, I tell you, I have basically juxtaposed it to the marketing concept, the 4 Ps. All right?
Yes.
Price, product, place, distribution, etc. I have seen recently that people from Africa are willing to commit suicide to get to the European mainland. And I'm wondering, how can we compare that to the slave trade? The slave trade, we are saying the colonial masters abused us, etc. But the colonial masters was only the distribution of the product, and the product was the slave trade, basically the crime committed by one of the superior tribe. So if we are asking for reparation for that heinous act, what will happen in 100 years' time when these families of these people who died, who have committed suicide, basically suicide, trying to get on a boat, trying to get on a small boat to go to the Spanish mainland or the Italian mainland? That is something we have to think about. The way we are going about reparation, we have to be very, very cautious about it, I believe, and we have to be honest. The other thing about why we have, yeah, the present predicament with yeah, with the Africans and why they continue is one of the statement COP made. It is because the PNM and what the PNM have psychologically done to the supporters. They have put a ring psychologically around them, and they have prevented them from understanding where they are taking them. Because if you compare it to the East Indian basically, I I I wasn't there, so can't compare it, had harsh conditions. The Cape as in their deliverance. They were promised a piece of land. They didn't get it because the colonial master continued to change the laws. Some of them stayed and out of the challenges made good of themselves. And we have to understand why one ethnic group took the challenge on and tried to beat it, and the other one has just stayed in a psychological slumber that the PNM has caused them to be in and not able to think how they're coming out of it. And I think it's a strategy of the PNM continuously giving them crumbs and corn to keep them in a frame of mind that they will always get a vote until they rise up and say enough is enough. Then they will always be where they are. And they have to understand that people take adversity and come out of it. And that's all I have to say tonight, Lennox. I'm going to listen affair.
And listeners, all you do, free to share the program, share the live, smash that subscribe button.
My apology, I went to the background to take care of something. There is a monitor that we use in studio that has not been turned on, and I tried to see if I could get solve the technical problem. You know, when the IT people leave, you know, the novice experiment. You know, so when you see me off camera, it's because I went to do that. But thanks for filling the gap, COP. Let's go to the line. Pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor. Welcome to the corridor.
Hello, good night, Mr. Lennox and Mr. COP.
Yes.
To the Corridor Transformation, one of the #1 program in the area right now. Lennox and COP, I was saying my brother say about the black leaders and then feel the young people in East West Corridor. Me will blame too much on the politicians, I blame any activists and them, you know, because when the mother chance was to speak out and stand up for the communities and look out for proper this and proper that in the communities. I tell one he was crying out for the last 9 years. He wanted a building to do something for the youth in East West Corridor. He jumped on the back wagon for 18 months now, and he ain't crying out for the building now for a piece of land to do something for people in the East West Corridor. So he stopped actually putting in Lavanti and environment. Lennox, you that man, you have a nice building down there. I feel like you put some resources and you furnish that building and because you that teacher homework classes and all that, you know. Because look at the children they playing in the road, Lennox. It's them we have to save, you know. Because right now, the pain like the train on the real corner on the ground. You see how they're working?
Can't see.
You ain't see what you know, so they're working every week they having a meeting. And they're using the young guy who got shot and the bad girl. They're having candlelight vision. This and that. I see the community of Duncan Street, Nelson Street, St. Paul Street. Everybody try to come together. I like peace. But the police, the system, them don't like peace. Them want to see the people in the East West Corridor come together.
KFC, can you hear me?
Because the young boys and them walking, who know how to walk in the Duncans, who know how to walk in the Nelson Street, going walk in the Duncan Street and shake brothers' hand. But I that man, me ready. I'm glad for the peace, but me really trust that peace. Because them is just detail. The heads of them lock up right now. And just for the state of emergency, go and uplift Mr. Lennox. So I look for listening, bless.
Yes, indeed. Well, it's nice that one could be practical it's nice to be even pessimistic because pessimism has its role and function. I'm getting.
I
Oh,
KFC. Pick up your phone, KFC.
sorry. I didn't take off. I didn't take off the phone. So we heard some of the domestic chattering.
Yeah, KFC when you call and you finish talk, hang up your phone now.
Yeah. In the domain, or in the household of KFC. So sorry
Yeah.
for badgering on you, COP in KFC in that way. Pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
He just need to hang up his phone when he
Good
done
night,
talk,
good
man.
night, the Honorable Lennox. Good night to my brother there, Mr. COP.
Yes,
Good
man.
night
Good night
to
to
the
you, brother.
corridor of transformation. And you know, I must recognize the Honorable leader of the political rocket and love until outreach for vertical enrichment. We must
And only
say
please
that.
recognize our government and our prime
You know,
minister
a good
too.
night. I see the brother there, Mr. COP himself. He look. Good night, sir.
Good night to you.
You know, Mr. I didn't recognize the face there because only once I ever saw the gentleman, and the man sit on like the commissioner of prison there with a khaki boy. You know? Yes, sir. You know,
Only on the corridor and only a Trinidadian will make that observation. But go ahead, my friend. It is well placed.
yes, Your Honorable, and that is how it has to be. We have to grow as a blessed nation. And you know this brother, Mr. COP, over the years, donkey years, he always bring transparency and accountability for the nation. And if something is right, it must be right. And if something is wrong, it must be wrong. We all must support our true democracy. Because look, this morning, boy, Mr. Lennox, I see Uncle Jack this morning on the TV, and he talking for a very, very long time. Alan and on TV6 interview him, and he said that how, you know, that persons who is like the system must not muzzle democracy, right? Because this is a freedom of speech, a freedom of expression, and how we feel. Mr. Lennox, you know me from in 2009. I had give the last administration, the Manning administration, may soul rest in peace. I give you over 100 and something protests, and I get my voice be heard. We get a lot of things started in our community. We didn't have no water, no lights, no road, nothing in our community. And that St. Joseph River, we claim a lot of houses in that river bank. We get the authority to put that retaining wall and all them things, you know, and life move on, and it went on for a good period of time, and we get certain things done. We cannot do this. This in this last round here, as I fully support Uncle Jack, the system must not muzzle democracy. And you know, as we speak here, Mr. Lennox, because as the corridor of transformation keep growing, and I see the brother come officially on the program here tonight on the World Wide Web, it will grow and escalate and recognize as one of the world's greatest talk show program, because you know, I know you a man that conduct equity, transparency, and accountability. The corridor of transformation will be of the people, by the people, for the voice. Because good night to Mr. Freeport there, and good night to my brother there in a little while, just before I came on there, because he is a true soldier. His mom also is a true grassroots fighter for the people of this blessed nation. You know what is hurting me also, boy, Lennox, boy?
Go ahead.
I was watching by, I don't know if you all saw it, a gentleman driving his vehicle, right? And this Venezuelan girl passing, boy, and knocked down the woman, and she on a little scooter, and this man drunk like a fish, right? When the test, the man, he overpassed the breathalyzer test. This is a serious thing, boy. Who going to, and well, now the Venezuelan girl die. I send the condolence to the family, and this cannot be, that cannot just happen just one. Nothing has come out of that. The family she had to be compensated, they had to be compensated. This fella something not right with that boy. And also, what I was observing, Mr. COP and Lennox, Trinidad and Tobago, the criminals, when they go out to do and not them alone, they're taking up the little children too, boy, they're licking down the little children, killing the little children. That's a serious thing, boy. I mean, may say it for people to go and take revenge and do this and do that, but they always say when you live by the sword, you die by the sword, and you know what goes around comes around. But oh gosh, boy, little babies, boy, little children, them in only 3 years, they're taking them down. This is a serious thing here, right? And we're asking the authorities to have no mercy with these persons who do these home invasion. These criminal elements must feel the full heat, the full brunt of the law, because this cannot be happening. Look, nowadays you have to close your house. These fellas jumping over the gate, going in the people home. I see the lady ball out today on Ian Allen program there. This is not right. So when the law enforcement get them person and the magistrate and when the officers charge them and the judges, magistrate who dealing with these persons, man, back them, set a serious example. Or let us bring more legislation and pass up the section in the clause and back these persons and let them pay a fine for the home invasion and also a jail too. This is not right, man. This country, if they continue like this country, they'll recognize as a heaven, because I listening last night, a time I hear see people talking on that, and last night you was talking about it, Mr. Lennox, that when tourists coming to Trinidad, you know what it is do? They say, don't go down Nelson Street, George Street, around that area, Port of Spain, East Dry River, is Beatam, sea lots. Oh gosh, man, this is a serious thing. We want to fix this country. This is why the corridor of transformation is here tonight with us, brother COP, Mr. Lennox, and this program is running. You know, also, before I go, I want to say, I feeling so proud tonight to know that we here in the corridor of transformation could talk about, we in Trinidad and Tobago, we the news say that we they enter United Nations Security Council, right? They recognize us as some sort of a body in the council.
The non-permanent member. There is a rotation system, and Trinidad and Tobago has vied for it, and if it is not yet confirmed, but one expects that we will get that temporary position as a non-permanent member of the Security Council of the United Nations. So congratulations are in order, yes.
And you know, all who had part to play with that, all who, even you, Mr. Lennox, even me, all Trinidad and Tobago, all the politicians in parliament who have a part to play for that role, because as we get closer to the world leaders, man, things could happen, you know. Things could happen, and I always say, we here is a food basket with a lot of resources, and we could, when I want to do something like an investment, I take a little loan or do something to better my position, to get things done, a vehicle, a home, something. And after I pay off that, now the time will reach, if we in difficulties, we could stretch and ask for help outside to get our country recognized into even better than Dubai. We could do it because we have multiple resources. And I say, I'm glad to hear that when we reach there, as close to the world leaders, and I think better days, I know better days are coming, because we all have to work as together to go to build this country. And I say good night again to the Honorable Mr. Lennox, Mr. COP. Good night, and Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you very much, my friend. Of course, COP, while he was speaking there, my mind was thrown back to the government's approach to treating with victims of crime and those of accidents as well. They have developed a fund where you have a victim of crime fund, so that people could be compensated, because he just talked about that. And then where accidents are concerned, where a person may not have insurance at all, there is a fund that you could refer to in order to treat with that particular situation. We will discuss that after this call, but I think that is a tremendous foresight and a tremendous, should I say, benefit and a relief to those who may be victims of crime and or accidents and just have to stand their bounds, so to speak. Let's save for this particular fund that the government has created. Let's go to the lines. A pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
Good night, corridor of it's
Transformation.
Lennox.
Yes. Good night.
Confirmation COP. Yeah.
Good night to you.
I realize you're a fella, you're a lovely fella. He glide the plane good or oh God boy. You make him crash the plane by staying so long. Nothing wrong with that, but yeah, but he was going good until
well,
you oh God,
as things
you
increase,
can't make a point. Well, what I'm saying is that
as things increase,
you can't make a
we're
point
gonna
100 times to say the same thing.
I agree.
So
with you,
better your point small and thing there. COP. How you going there, brother? What I'm saying, Mr. Lennox, is that don't mind all the kind of so-called niceness you're seeing with the PNM agenda. We are a multicultural country. And while we keep showing up the African diaspora in your area, and you're there for 1,000 years, and you're helping them, and you're doing it, they still ain't voting for you, no matter what you do. Now, this is from my point of view, from other aspects of the country, because you are from the ground report where we come way back, fighter battle, you and COP and all of, and all of a sudden, we get where we reach here now, and we is the nice boys, the nice boys of the society, wanting everybody to like you because you are the helm, and you see that, in my wisdom, is foolishness. Because you know why? Now all you have the so-called power, or you understand what I'm saying, Lennox? That
yes,
you
ahead,
within
you very clearly, yeah.
and my sense of the moral of the story is that don't be fooled by the whims and the fancies of the PNM foolishness. Because what I am telling you, you is African, and you in African area and PNM, and all what you do, and all the help, they still voting for you. So corridor of the corridor, let me be real. There is other diaspora and things of this country that need that same kind of
You know
thing.
why? Let me just engage
Yes.
the caller, please. Now.
Are
So-
you suggesting that because of that I should abandon?
No.
Call it a
Don't
bad job
abandon.
and extinguish
No.
myself. Tell me. Go ahead.
Don't abandon. What I want you to do is that extend your kung fu to the other areas for them to see what Lennox could do in a different diaspora area, so that they go respect you.
Yeah, but this gentleman have a
You
responsibility
understand?
too.
They only respecting you. Why they ain't respecting you? Because you're only doing for them. But you do for Caroni and Claxton Bay and Lavan and Bayaro, and you will see they go vote for you in the morning. Because Jack Warner was under that same situation, and you know how he conquered it? He leave the area where everybody like him and love him, and he go in the other diaspora area. Oh yes, they say he spend money, but they get to like him because what he do. And that's why he's so renowned in this area. So the moral story, what I'm trying to get to you is that it is good that you're doing in your diaspora, because remember what Jesus said, the people in my own area where I think like me, I have to go Bethlehem and all about to get things.
A prophet in his own country. Is ignored.
So what I'm saying with that, all that energy you have and all that existence thing we're going on with the African Israel, nothing ain't coming out of it because they just want somebody to use to be, and when it's to vote for Lennox, they're not going to vote for you. You see all this foolishness we're going on with the maxi taxi, and all of a sudden, all of the areas and all the young, where was quiet for the young next 9 years, all of a sudden everybody get bright and smart. But who do you think is getting bright and smart? What's the areas? Is where most of the Africans is. Where is the other people of this country? There's Indian, there's white man, there's Chinese. You notice them cool? You know why them cool? Once thing is going in them favor anyway. Them you know fight nobody and kill nobody. So all of a sudden the maxi taxi thing and all them little boy want to jump out and about peace talk and ting. After the peace talk, what is the education level? What are they gonna do? They're going to study. You're going to bring out a course for them, a peace talk course. Give them people to get something. Are they going to come to study to get a degree or what? So what I'm saying is that you don't make yourself a matter. Spread your kung fu in while you have the power. Because right now, you know what they're watching with Andy and making a laughing stock a week? From Pitbull to like Pussycat. Yeah, and so when they're trying to that is a PNM dilemma to destroy, to get back power, to thief, and to bring down and damage the system. Don't fall for it. Nothing wrong with you doing. Everything that you're doing is very good. I ain't saying no, but not in that area alone. Don't make it look like because the African alone. So long the African come out of slavery, we tell him, oh, they can't hold a sports day or they can't hold a thing day. Why the other area, you know? You need to show up that same thing in other areas. And then the real Lennox go come out. So don't fall for the trap. Have a good day, fella.
Thank you very much. You know, there is a saying, COP, that you're never too old to learn. The statement that the gentleman, the last caller, made with respect, of course, to spreading your wings, I think is something that I never considered. Even though I would have been involved in issues outside of Laventille, East Port of Spain, Beetham, etc., I've never focused until now and considered that you should, of course, go beyond if only to make a certain kind of statement. But I also know for a fact that all of the constituencies except the Laventilles did in fact reject the PNM at one point in time, 1986 elections, 333. I also know for a fact that at one time nobody could have beaten the PNM in San Juan, in the constituency of Sawa, St. Joseph, even Sangre Grande, and they were well trashed. And of course, I think the most glaring example of the possibility of a transformation over time is important, because it's time that will be the factor. Some people learn slower than others, and some people have to be beaten into reality. But of course, we cannot take out of the equation Tobago. After 20 years or 20-something years, the PNM simply were rejected flat out at the THA level and at the national electoral level. So while I understand the caller, I will put that into my own equation and my own moving forward. But certainly I have to also know the history shows that the PNM have been beaten in these communities, except, of course, the Laventilles, where, of course, I will want to focus. And therefore, I think what he has said makes a lot of sense, and I'm going to bring it on board. COP.
But Wall Street, I said, Lennox matter.
Hey.
I don't agree with many of the things he said.
Go ahead.
You working where your passion is. You working where your love is. You working where your people are. The people them that you trying to bring out of that tranquility that they what the caller need to do, and other callers who that looking on and listening, we have a collective responsibility. If we know the young people them only started on the PNM side, the mother and father will only PNM, we have a responsibility.
We have to pause. Stick up in there, and let's go to the caller. Pleasant good night.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, this is the caller from San Francisco calling back.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I want to say something. I want to tell Mr. Faizabad something. That I have not missed the boating. You understand what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
Because he mentioned just now that I missed the boat. Somehow I slightly missed the boat or something like that. Right? Because I believe I have contributed to the corridor transformation quite a lot. And I know you know that.
Oh yes, 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 yes. I mean, these contributions, in my view, are invaluable. Has so much value that you cannot put a value to it. But go ahead.
Right. And I intend to contribute more, not only just to the corridor transformation, but to the African diaspora of Trinidad and Tobago, of which I come from, because I am not just, I am a mixture. I'm a mixture because my mom was not totally African either. She was from East India, and my dad was from Grenada. But I believe, I still have that within me because my mom and my parents, my mom and my dad, were two individuals because I think that they taught me a lot, right? And I'm very grateful for that, of where I reached from their education. And they would have done that even under hard times. You understand? The times were good, sometimes it was, not so good, sometimes it was, you know. So where I am at this point in time, um, I'm sorry that I didn't introduce myself just now when I first started, in terms of, good night to all the callers and all of that. But, I think that we could, go forward. We could do a lot. We still have a lot to do. I'm saying it again. We still have a lot of work to do because, it's like every day I get up, right? I am finding that there's still more to do
Oh yes.
because
Oh yes.
we all are learning. We all are learning. This is what I am thinking at present.
Yeah.
Right? We all are here. We are learning human beings, and we have to grow and learn and go as far as we can go.
I agree. I agree. Thank you very much.
You know?
Thank you.
Yeah. So I want to express myself a little more in terms of seeing that I saw just now. I have some a video on Moko Jambi's dancing around the just now.
Yes,
That's
that was part of the family day on George Street, with a coming together of Nelson Street and George Street families to effect that family day.
Right. So what I'm saying is, I grew up being when I first started to really see the world, I realized, and my mom realized that, look, you're not too much academic, but you could use your hands well, right? So I learned to draw and paint and that kind of stuff. I could, even though too, when I was going to college, I would have been playing football and all of that. But I learned to use my hands well, and today I am an artist,
Great.
right? I love um, my culture. So therefore, carnival being one of the thing of my culture, because it came down from history. We were enslaved and all of that.
Yes,
And being
yes.
a person who could draw, right? I play math. I like the math, but I don't misuse our culture in terms of just partying all the time. I use the culture to further myself, right? And even though I'm not a farmer, because I have relatives or who have died, they were farmers in Flanagan Town and all that. They used to mind goat, sheep, whatever, so whatever, and they were farmers. But then that part of me, that never showed itself. Art more in my life showed itself. So
Okay.
therefore, I would try to take act further. I would paint something, on a canvas or do some paperwork or something like that.
All right. Well, thanks very much for that intervention and, of course, that personal biography. We know who we are dealing with at this point in time. We have about 6 minutes left. We'll go up to 10 o'clock. We would compensate you for that. So we have a whole half an hour we have added on to the program. But I know that COP had a comment to make earlier. We still have calls we have to go to, so let's go to the call. Pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
Mr. Lennox and COP.
Yes.
That's what I know the program is short now. Let them land the plane quick now, man. I hear Mr. Ruka calling that they watched. You have favorite caller and watch the program. So make this program collect.
All right, I hear you. With the fullness of time and as the numbers increase in terms of calls, we will have of necessity, and the callers will understand that. So don't be too perturbed. We are allowing it for the time being because, of course, it's we are in the process of testing as well. So so you'll get your obvious wish that is realistic in due course. All right. Okay. Yeah.
And
Yes,
and,
indeed.
and
So-
every and any members coming in and this program with the disrespect and the obscene and chat and thing, let me tell you something. You will be deleted. Come with respect over here. This is a UNC program. This is UNC supporters running this thing over here, and we take no disrespect. Sam, Fitzroy Joseph, you could go and cut wood this Saturday night. You could cut plank and things this Saturday night. That's how much have bush in the country. You go and cut some bush this Saturday night now, if you have a problem in the program. The highway has so much of bush. Take up a cutlass and go and cut bush this Saturday night now and clean up the highway now. If you so like governance.
All right.
What I was saying with the caller there.
let's get to the issue. The personalities, we could
Yeah,
do it all.
leave
Go
out
ahead.
that also. Yeah, but my mouth hot too now.
I know that. So my job is, just like Andy, is to, of course, simmer down a bit as
Keep
we
that
get
peace.
focused.
Sir.
Yeah.
Keep that peace. Lennox, I disagree because the caller was mentioned that they vote for you and they will never vote for you. Let the caller hold you on. Let the caller hold you on.
Pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
A pleasure good night to you, Uncle Lennox and COP,
Southwestern.
and all the
Yes.
listeners again.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Lennox,
Yeah.
before you reach on George Street, where were you?
In Laventil proper, Passy Street,
At home, right?
Mover, Beetham, you name it, Sealots. I've been all over.
No, you was home, right? Stephen, most of the
Oh,
time.
you mean him? No, yes, it's home, yes.
Right. And then after, now the program, your intention is to uplift the area, right?
That's right.
No, I'll get to that point before I apologize.
Mm-hmm.
So the caller said that I say something wrong, but on the topic that you're talking about the African diaspora, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Now,
And
what
the
does
role of women, the indispensable and the fervent and solid role of the woman in advancing the diaspora. Go ahead.
That's right, right? So when I'm talking about upliftment, I said that they were showing, as I was saying at the call with his contribution, that what he was talking about, the programs he is doing and elevated himself, uplifting himself. I said that I talk about where you move to George Street and acquire that place. Then you and the gentleman the guy who died was looking
that's
to
Brother
put
Carl. Brother Carl, yes.
Brother Carl, right?
Yes.
That he was looking to obtain a business for upliftment in the area.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about pushing and bringing up, right?
Yeah. But I want to
said
interrupt you a bit. I want to tell you that that will be the subject of another program. So notice we're focusing on women today, and then we will
Right.
go into the economic and commercial,
Yeah.
and then we'll go into the crime situation, youth. That's how we will segmentalize the program as we move, so people get a clear idea, and we spend sufficient time on each one of these very pertinent, very critical subject to advance these communities and therefore by extension make their contribution to Trinidad and Tobago. But go ahead, I just want to tell you that. But go ahead, I ain't stopping you from your course of action or your
No,
discussion.
you were right. Yeah, correct. Because the rule, because I was thinking that is how we answered to let them know that what he's saying, you are doing this more or less the same thing in your area, right? But now we're talking about the mothers, the single mothers, the female, to give them the recognition. Because in the biggest strike at the world, women play the most important part. Even Trinidad to fight the PNM under Trinidad Buzz Butler is women. When they say, hold the fort, we are coming strong. But anyway, what I'm saying, that to show that how you are uplifting the area. And I would like you to let them know that love candidate, right, get 3,800 votes in the last general election, right?
Yes.
From zero over the years coming up. Now you're making inroads. That look at that crowd behind you and the mothers and them, because it's mostly female in that crowd, right? They are answering the call. They are coming to you, right? And they're united. That is the first thing you have to do. Just as the PNM neglect them for, as I said, 35 years are your time. But anyway, I will end the day, and I will apologize if we misquote, right? But here we're going on. Tomorrow is a holiday. What time you're coming on tomorrow, please God? You're coming by day or else?
Same time, barring no technical challenges. All right.
Right.
Now I see you smiling there. So we are very optimistic, but we will be on tomorrow. Yes, we will be on tomorrow.
Please, God. Okay. So after that, good night.
Not on Friday. Maybe in future, COP will be here by himself. I gone on a Friday.
Okay. So after that, good night. And enjoy all the rest of the night. And thank you. So I apologize to the caller if he misquote me. Right?
No problem. That is how it is. That to be humble, to me, is to be extremely respectful of the position of the other party, because they may have been misinformed, and you will correct it to say that they misquote or misunderstood. And that is the kind of decency that we want on a program like this, so that we focus essentially and very, very significantly and centrally on the issues, because without it, we are spinning top in mud. So those people, those trolls on the chatting boxes and so on, that is what they are. They are chatters, but cannot produce anything, and we are going to ignore. I have done that for all the years, and I will continue so to do. My colleague may have a different view on the matter, where they are extremely obnoxious, of course, yes, and we will decide. And once he says yes, well, we will of course discontinue the relationship. But the fact that they are on and being obnoxious or being untoward with their commentary, to me, says something about them, and that is that they thinking good. You come here to criticize, but yet still you're watching. We're doing something right. We're doing something right.
I agree. I agree.
My friend, go ahead. Yes.
What I was against the caller on is that when he mentioned that the people them not voting for you, they're not supporting you. I believe this is the first time Love is a political party, and I sure you get over 1,000 votes in those areas and them in your electoral district. And we have a responsibility, the listeners have a responsibility. Instead of we say they will never support, why we can ask them to support them, motivate them, and tell them which part the elders in the community went wrong. Because we can educate and inform and encourage and motivate and inspire. And that is we roll out here. That is what we have to do. If we know somebody doing something wrong by only voting for one party that take them nowhere, we have to encourage them. We have to tell them, and even though it takes we years to do it, we have to do it because we're trying to get something right. We're trying to bring knowledge to under knowledge.
I want to tell you, I want to tell you, my friend, go to the top of the class. I normally will prescribe or reserve that comment to Andy, but I want to tell you in this early stage of the game, go to the top of the class. Because you see, the reason why we are here tonight is to do exactly that, to put in the cogs and the building blocks towards a consciousness. And at the end of the day, any human being, no human being, of a matter of fact, will want to live in a state of perpetual downtroddenness, perpetual poverty, perpetual harshness, perpetual abuse. And therefore the day will come when they will say yes. But there must be some kind of external stimulus, or put another way, maybe in the plural form, stimuli. Plural of stimulus is stimuli. And once that is there, then of course, as human beings, they will have to rationalize and ultimately make a decision. So the point I am making here is that because the technology exists, I've always said that. Otherwise, right now, what we are saying here, we would have had to beg TV6 and the CNC3 and other medium to give us 2 seconds to tell us the good things that are coming out of these areas. Because as I told one time Robinson, when he came up to Laventille to launch, of course, the MLIO program, I said that how come a person in any part of Trinidad outside of Laventille will know Laventille is a place to avoid, Laventille is a place to not visit and not bring business, etc. How they know? It's because of the media. And immediately over the years, I have been always in some media house every morning promoting some positive of the area, because the media, to sell their product or to sell papers or to sell their show or to sell their or to gain viewership, etc., would always invariably focus on the negative side. But there are much positives that are taking place that are not being equally at least highlighted. And we're going to have some discussions on that as well. So that I felt it was my responsibility and my objective and my commitment, just as COP has done and recognized, to make use of the technology that will bring the information straight home into people's bedrooms. And better yet, they can also participate so that they can provide their own views and their own, what I consider to be, intentions and their own addition, so that we could be a better people, a better place, a better program, as the synergies begin to gel and we advance in the interest of Trinidad and Tobago. But more specifically, those communities that are under tremendous pressure today due to no fault of theirs, in a sense. The presence of the PNM has been around for too long. The PNM ain't like this, Let me get that clear. And the trolls and them are going to come. We know that. But every day and every moment and every hour and every second and every minute of positives and what is possible, those who are not yet converted will add that to their stockpile, so to speak, and will eventually have to say, well, listen, these fellas not joking, but I have seen, of course, the performance of the PNM, and they have put us in this situation, promises, and they believe that they could promise because they have the power of talk, the power of words, the power of voice, and that they can talk, and then, of course, tell you that the Indian this and the Indian that, and that they don't care about us, and they take away URP, and this and that, and so on. And so, as a result, they must now retrograde, or put another way, consider the PNM as a viable alternative to what is happening today. I say our job is to make the people see that they are more valuable than that, and they must now focus in their best interest, because they have what? Knowledge. Knowledge, that is the power. And that is what the corridor transformation fundamentally is, not just selling, but is promoting, so that you decide ultimately what your destiny is. Is it that you're going to reach your grade? Is it that you are going to attach your future to a P&M wagon? Or are you going to listen to us as we extrapolate and we provide opportunities such as what is happening in the back of media to advance? What are your closing remarks, COP?
My closing remarks is these communities and them need assistance, and our responsibility is not to speak on behalf of the have. Our responsibility as human beings is to speak on behalf of the ones who don't have. And I rather speak on behalf of the have less, the people who, you see those communities and them, I rather make my contribution 2 hours over here on the people and them who need the assistance, motivate them, encourage them, inspire them, and let them know their ancestors went wrong. Move away from the People's National Movement. You see all them young people and them, they was misled. Most of them was misled. The political party love in that constituency now. We need to encourage the people and them to support the organization that support them, the organization that have them to heart, the organization that want to see them do better, the organization that want to help build with them, grow with them, develop with them. That's the organization you see the 190 something of you was on YouTube just now? We have a responsibility. We have a responsibility to motivate the have-less, the vulnerable community. We just don't have a responsibility to stand up in politics and say UNC, we support the government, We have a responsibility politically, but we have a human responsibility to support the have-less and speak on their behalf as human beings. We was not designed to be rude, disrespectful, and biased. We was designed to be loving, caring, and kind-hearted, trustworthy, sincere, and speak for the have-less. Let me tell you, Martin Luther King was doing that. Nelson Mandela was doing that. All the black leaders and them was doing that. All the Indian leaders and them. Nelson Mandela, this next one, all of them was fighting for the have-less and the vulnerable as human beings. And that is what I want to continue doing, Lennox.
Magnificent, my friend. I don't think you need a better closing remark than that epilogue, so to speak.
Kwame Ture was doing that.
Yes, indeed. I want to say, of course, people, it is 11 minutes past 10 o'clock. We say 10 o'clock, now it's 11 minutes past. Of course, I would want to leave you with a little bit of the focus on tonight, which, of course, in song, which, of course, by singing Sandra. And that is, of course, the dignity of women. We cannot overemphasize, we cannot overpraise, of course, our women in leading the charge, especially in circumstances where the men have either abandoned or have fallen short of their commitment and contribution. So let me just get there, and then of course I'll open up the COP. Don't leave. I'll open up the mic, or should I say the video, the audio for the video in the back of us, so you will have an appreciation, a better appreciation by your senses as to what transpired last Saturday. Let's just have a little piece.
They will get the whole video.
Yes.
To get a job as a girl in Trinidad. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Let me go. So, participants are ready, officials are ready, DJ are ready, let me go!
Wine. No, all you walking. All you walking. Or you have to wine.
Smelling sweet. Watch back on the now. Ready to run out the road. Watch back on the now. Two of them alone. Two of them alone. They take it off.
Well, people, of course, the video is pretty long, so I'll try to play it just before the program tomorrow night. So look forward to it from around 7 o'clock. That will lead us straight into the program tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, because it's pretty long, and of course we have gone past 10 o'clock. Tomorrow morning, of course, is the ground report. Andy and myself, and of course these and other issues we will be discussing. Have a wonderful rest of the night. God bless. COP, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Good night to the ground report to you.